All right. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is another episode of Din the D. Today I got with me David Pindell playing overseas right now, man. I appreciate you for tuning in with us.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you for reaching out and letting me, come on here and join.
Yeah, I know one of the things you seen on one of your Instagram videos or that you like watch Aaron Rodgers film. That's your favorite quarterback?
Yeah, from ever since Michael Vick retired, Aaron Rodgers, that's my guy. That was my favorite quarterback, Michael Vick and Aaron Rodgers. So I watch him 24/7. That's how I've been trying to model my game after, and that's the only quarterback I try to keep up with the most.
Okay, how you feel when he went to the Jets?
I mean, I go wherever he goes. So when he went to the Jets, I looked at it as a new opportunity, a fresh start. And I'm excited about what they're going to do this year. I think they'll do pretty good with what they got. They got Alan Lazard and Nathaniel Hackett, the coach he's familiar with. So I think they'll have a good run. So I'm excited about it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been a Detroit Lions fan my entire life. And when he left, I wanted to throw a parade. Because I'm like, this
Yeah,
guy, this guy's out of the NFC North. I'm just happy
that
for that. I'm like, this guy has shown us that he is the MVP more than one time in the season. So I'm just like, okay, he gets to be somebody else's issue. I'm like, everybody like, oh, old age, he's gonna get injured. I'm like, man, that dude has shown like that old
he
age means nothing. He's still gonna show out.
exactly. He dominated that conference for a decade. Now that conference actually going to be up for grabs now because you guys, you finished the year on a high note. So now it's between you guys and the Vikings, and then the Bears got potential. So we'll see what happens in NFC North this year.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, man. That's gonna be definitely gonna be something I'm gonna be tuning in. I'm probably gonna be like so close to the TV every week, just trying to see like if we gonna finally do something this year. But I'm already
Exactly.
gonna talk about you. So what made you end up picking UConn?
So I went to a junior college, and I went to Uconn Junior College in Pennsylvania, and the reason I went there is because I didn't have the grades coming out of high school. And when I got to Lackawanna, there's an opportunity, to fix all that. So I fixed my grades, and then pretty much, I balled out, did what I was supposed to do on the field, finished like third in the country. So I had a bunch of offers, and I ended up narrowing it down between Temple, Uconn, and Coastal Carolina. So I visited Coastal, I visited Temple, and I visited Uconn last. So Temple, Temple, Coastal Carolina was a great atmosphere, great campus. Everything was great about that program, but they were fresh coming into Division 1, so I wasn't looking to go to a new program that's fresh to Division 1. I want to go somewhere who's played D1 and who's like up and coming. So
Right.
Temple, they had a good program. Everything about that program was great. They just came off winning season as usual. Their quarterback PJ, who plays for the Bears now, he had a great year there. He just did a lot of good things there. So, being around there football wise, like that would be a good opportunity, just being around like a good football program, which was, one thing I wanted to be around. But also, my mom's side of the family, they're from Philly. So we go to Philly all the time. I'm in Philly all the time. I know what Philly's like. I live in Baltimore. Philly and Baltimore are like the same city. And it's like that environment is just not my cup of tea. I don't like being in that type of environment. So
Mm.
ended up visiting Uconn right after, the week after. And Uconn was the complete opposite. It was a small town in the middle of nowhere. It was an actual campus. Their football situation was, they just came off a 3-8 season. Then that rebuilding phase, and their quarterback position is up for grabs. Like they didn't have no like standout quarterback as far as going into the season and stuff like that. So it was an opportunity for me to go compete. And that's the one thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to go somewhere where I'm able to help the program build rather than live up to their expectations. Whereas
Mm.
Temple, they won a bowl game. The quarterback just went to the league, so it's like you got to live up to that, or everything else is like downhill from there. So I wanted to go somewhere it was a fresh start. I can work my way up, and I met some good people there on my visit. That felt like we had a lot in common. And then Coach Lashley, He's the coach that recruited me there. So he's I wanted to stick with him. So that's the reason I ended up choosing UConn over Temple.
Okay. And when you end up going to I remember reading the interview said when you started going to the league and just the pre-draft trials and things like that, they wanted you to switch your position.
Yeah, they had me well, during the pre-draft process, I was actually training as a quarterback and everything, and then during my pro day, I only threw the ball. I didn't run routes or anything. The only time I had to, switch my position was when I actually went into mini camp. Um, they had me run routes. They had me play running back, and then they had me, catching punts. So yeah, throughout that whole process, it was like, yeah, you gonna train as a quarterback, and then when I got there, it was like, they flipped it. You're gonna play receiver, put some running back, and you're gonna catch some punts. And it was cool, to get an opportunity and all, but trying to play catch up at the highest level, it just wasn't for me. It didn't work out well. So I'm overseas right now in Japan.
No, I understand. Like that's one thing I've stressed. I told my wife, but she doesn't really watch football, so she's kind of just one of them people that's like, yeah, you're telling me, but I don't understand. But when
Yeah,
I had a conversation with a few of my friends, I was just like, I hate when people do that. Like they put quarterbacks in and versus staying in that position, like they keep
definitely.
trying to move them. And
Hmm.
even they tried it like 2-3 years ago, even with Tim Tebow, who was out the league for a long time.
Yeah,
And then
I've seen that.
then he came back to the league. They were like, "Oh, he's gonna be a tight end." And everybody, even like other officials, are like, "That's not gonna work." He was like,
Exactly.
He's gonna do it." And
You
then when
can't
he didn't
just
even make the preseason, and we were like, everybody was like, "Are you surprised?" Like he was a quarterback. Then y'all just brought him
exactly.
in, just threw him into a position like, "No, you're gonna fit this." I'm
Yeah,
like,
they try to put these guys in these different roles at the highest position and expect them to compete and keep a job. It's like you kind of got to baby them. They got to teach them all the way from the beginning. The only thing that stands out about them, playing other positions, like they're athletic. And like you can only rely on your athleticism so much because there's so much more fundamentally and, you know, just, mentally you got to learn about the position. Or it's like you expect them to learn all this and perform at a high level against the best at their own positions in a span of 1 to 2 weeks, or it's like we're going to find the next guy. So that's a little challenging, but some quarterbacks had success with it, and some moved on to the CFL and other leagues, and they're still working out. So
no, I get that because that's one thing I keep saying. Like it was a real irritation thing. Like even when I was watching the interview, I just was like, why do people keep trying to do that? Because even like Lamar Jackson was the one that was the most. It was like, nah, we feel like you could fit this. He was just like,
mhm,
hey, I'm staying here, or I'm just not gonna play. And then once he
mhm,
do it, he just like spent years throwing it in their face afterwards. I said, look, hey, I get it. I buy a shirt and like wear it every week, every time the press
exactly,
conference is like, hey, this is my position. Like if you love doing what you're doing and you're
exactly.
comfortable in that position, I definitely understand. Because even like watching you play on Instagram, I was just like, man, like, you was throwing
Mhm.
it with like the 3 ball scenario you had was just throwing it fast. I'm like, man, he did that. He threw 3 balls in like 3 seconds. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, yep.
I was like, man, that release was fast. So I was just like, yeah, it's he nice. That's why I was understand why they would want you to switch.
Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you. I have no idea, but everything happened for a reason. So
Yeah. But so I remember you also saying that you end up getting information from Quavo about joining his league and doing stuff like that. But you said you don't listen to his type of music. So what type of music you listen to?
um, well, I listen to the Migos and like I've been familiar with them like throughout my whole high school career and all that stuff. Like when they first came out, 2013 or whatever it was. But I wasn't like they're not like my go-to music. I wasn't like listening to the Migos heavy and like I'm into them and all that like that. Like I knew they were when their music come on. I know their music, but
Mhm.
like when he reached out to me, kind of started paying a little more attention to him because like okay, like he clearly interested in me. So I started keeping up with his music after that. But type of music I listen to like West Coast music. So I listen to like my favorite type of music. I like old West Coast like 90s, early 2000s like Snoop Dogg, Game, YG, Nipsey Hussle. I like that's type of music I listen to like West Coast stuff.
Got you.
Yeah,
Got you. I was a long time. I was a Ice Cube fan. Everybody was like, "Why?" I'm like,
that
I'm
old Ice Cube, he
I'm
used to
like,
go.
I'm nowhere near from the West Coast, but I just like his music. Like the
Exactly.
music that he made was always chill. So,
Hmm.
and some of it was like one of them, like, yeah, like you about to feel it, but you need that type of music. You don't want to just get like just mellow all through the day. You need that music to hype you up
That
sometimes.
heavy, exactly, and that's how I go to my West Coast music. That's my jam right there.
That's your workout music too.
Yeah, I mostly listen to Game, like the early Game, like his documentary at Doctor's Advocate, the old album. I listen to that
Mhm.
like 24/7. Whenever you see me around, I'm bumping some type of one Game music. Any of his albums, I listen to like back to back to back.
Okay, all right, that's good. See, that's why I figured that was gonna be like to like the old G Unit, like back in the day when they were at like was
Yeah,
all of a group versus
exactly.
everybody
Yeah.
separating. Got it.
Hmm.
So when you got the call from during the draft time, when you done getting the call from Chicago and the Chargers, like how did that feel, even knowing that they wanted to bring you in, but they wanted to switch your position?
So my mindset back then during that process was like, I'm young, never did this before. Nobody in my family's done this before. Nobody in my family's played football, sports, anything. So I'm the first one like to experience all this. So for me, mindset is just get on the team. I didn't care about the whole switching position, all that. It's just I'm about to be in the NFL. Like this is like for real. I'm really about to be in the NFL, like the professional football league. So I'm like, I do whatever you want me to do. Get on the NFL team. Like when he was calling, I talked to about like 15 teams throughout the week, and they were all telling me like, "Hey, we watched you. You did some amazing things at Uconn with the ball in your hands, but would you be interested in like coming in and trying another position?" And in my mind, like, I'm not gonna say no to that. So I was just saying yeah. So I was saying yeah to every team, and I didn't have no like mixed feelings about anything like that until like throughout the process and you start learning like you gotta like do what you love. And like after the whole process and my time in Minnesota and Tampa, that's when my mindset started to change. Like I want to do what I love because during my time down in Tampa and Minnesota, like at the practices, one thing about me, like as a quarterback, I enjoy like putting in the extra work and like after practice, putting in an extra like 30 minutes just trying to better my game as a quarterback and just try new things at my position. Where I was playing receiver and running back for Tampa and Minnesota, I was looking at the clock every minute, like every period. I'm just looking at I'm ready to get out of practice because like I didn't love what I was doing. I didn't like the practices, like doing receiver drills all day, running routes and stuff. I just didn't enjoy that. So that's when it came to me that like you gotta do what you love, or like you're gonna dread it. So that's after that. That's when I realized like any opportunity I get after this, if it's not quarterback, I'm not interested in it. And from there on out, that's how it's been.
Nah, I get that. That's what we were just talking about earlier. I'm like when you love what you do, like even though nobody's gonna change it. Like
Hmm.
you know your path in life, so you can't just sit there like, no, I'm just gonna go. Nah, even
Yeah.
with this, even myself, like I hate to get to talking about myself, but like this is something I wanted to do for years, and I just kept putting it off. I'm like, no, forget it, forget it, forget it. And then
Hmm.
really like 4 or 5 months ago, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna step out on faith and see what happens.
Hmm.
If
Exactly.
things don't end up working out, then hey, I just keep trying to find the next path. But if things work itself
Hmm.
out, I'm gonna keep moving in this direction. So I'm like,
Exactly.
everything's
100%.
been working itself out. So I definitely understand what you're saying. So that's really just can I go. I keep going back to like if you when you really love something, man, nobody's gonna divert you off from it. So that's
Hmm.
good. That's a passion. That's a real passion right there. Like that's definitely something I've been even trying to tell a lot of people like, hey, when you know something and you're comfortable with it, like, no, don't. Oh, well, he knows more. No, like, stay there. Like, that's something that's going to get you
Exactly.
where you
Yep.
got to go. I definitely get that.
A lot of people don't understand like it's not always about the money because when these opportunities come up, they always thinking for the money. They're like, hey, I got to take care of myself, and literally, like it's all like a game to all this. So it's like they gonna offer you a lot of money in the beginning because they have a plan to cut you. Now, if they offer you a little bit of money in the beginning, it's like they have a long term plan for you to get that big contract. And like a
Mhm.
lot of guys are just that I've experienced or been around. It's just like they're gonna offer me this amount of money, so I'm gonna just take that. And it's like they say, well, look, I'm gonna switch your position, but you're gonna take this amount of money. And it's like, yeah, your career gonna last for like 1 year and then you're done. Whereas, hey, we're going to sign you at the position you play. We'll give you this amount of money, but we're going to develop you. And over time, you're going to be able to show what you can really do. And then, in a year or two, you get that big contract. So it's like you got to really like be dialed into your craft and be committed to your craft rather than just trying to, just get that first check that, that's offered to you.
Right, that's what a lot of people be chasing, that money. But I'm like, man, that money gonna come and go regardless of what you do. So you just gotta like keep saying chase that passion. So that makes a lot of sense. So I know when you said when you were with I want to say with the CFL, and they said they gave you they called you on your birthday and gave you the wonderful birthday gift, telling you that they were gonna trade you to Florida. And they made it the business decision. I'm like, you guys decided to call this guy on his birthday and tell him some news like that. It'd been perfect. Like, hey, we're giving you a raise. We're gonna give you another contract. You're like, hey, we made a business decision. We're gonna trade you. But happy birthday. I'm like, what? That was like I'm like, this is the greatest birthday gift anybody ever gave.
Yeah, that was that was the Arena League. That wasn't the CFL.
Oh,
that was the Arena League. But yeah, it was crazy. They called me my birthday. They didn't even say happy birthday to me. I don't think they even knew it was my birthday, but they called me that morning, and the coach was telling me, he's like, yeah, we watch your videos on Instagram all the time. You look good working out and stuff. And they're just like, hey, we gotta make a business decision. Like, we want to trade you to Orlando, and then the whole situation is just like, we're gonna trade you somewhere, but it just don't seem like, well, they were gonna trade me somewhere, and it wasn't gonna be as good of a deal as what I was already getting in New York. So just like, you know what? I don't want to get traded there, or I don't want to play for Albany. I just don't want to play in the Arena League no more. I'm done. I'll just figure something else out. I'll figure the next opportunity out. And then everything worked out perfectly. I'm in Japan. I'm playing outdoor football, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to stay outdoor and have success over here. So it's like everything happens for a reason. I don't complain about nothing. Just enjoy every process, every step through the way, and just enjoying all these experiences. Each year, each place I go, you meet new people, meet good people, make relationships, and just cherish those moments because you only get to do this once. You get old, and you only get this opportunity to play ball out, and do what you love for a short period of time because your body not gonna be able to sustain for another 20, 30 years. So I'm just enjoying this whole process and just doing this for as long as possible.
No, I get it because I was seeing even I'd say I was on your Instagram so much, but I see like some of the scores you be posting. I'm like, man, they did them like that. They did like 37 to 30, like 37-25. I'm like, come on, like y'all putting up numbers. Like y'all
we've been doing some stuff like we do some good stuff on offense. Offensively, any program I've been in offensively, we do some good things. Maybe we don't win it all the time and stuff, but offensively, put me at quarterback, we can score points. We can put up some points.
Got you. Makes sense. So if the USL, Arena League, CFL, any of them ever ask you to come back, would you be like no, or are you just comfortable in Japan?
Yeah, I'm comfortable in Japan. Only league I say like if they offer me, I'll go back to the NFL because XFL they offered me a contract. St. Louis team they offered me a contract. I could have went there, but it was one of those situations where like, and me, I play all this stuff like a business, just like they do it. So I'm just a businessman. So they offered me a contract, but it was like one of those situations where the quarterback he decided he left. He wanted to get traded somewhere else, so they just wanted to bring me in and replace him like as a last option. So it's not. It's like I wasn't their priority, and like you don't ever want to be somewhere where you're tolerated. If they're not the priority, like I don't want to go there. So that's why I didn't sign with the XFL team. And then over here, it's like I'm having success here. They respect me over here, and I have a lot to offer them as far as like playing at a high level in America and being able to teach people over here like the game of football and from what I know, and they really they take it in, they learn it and stuff, and it shows that they like respect me and they want me here because they gave me a 3-year contract, so it's like it just shows they want me here, and it's just a better situation, everything's taken care of, and we had a good first year, and it's like we just want to build on top of that and just keep going, try to win the championship this second year. So over here is it was like a blessing in disguise, like getting traded from Albany and then just coming here. It's just everything just unfolding. It's just like great
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said at one point in time you didn't even know that they had football in Japan.
Never had no idea it was football over here. I didn't even know if they knew what football was. I knew they had football in Europe, Mexico, Brazil, America, nowhere in Asia, and they have a full league over here that's like legit. It's been around for almost 40 years, so it's going.
Yeah, I'm even when I seen it, I was just like, when I seen you play, I'm like, wait, he's playing Japan. I didn't even know, but that's
Mm-hmm.
why I started like trying to Google it a bit more. Like, man, they've been doing their thing. They actually they have a lot of athletes over there that's just
Yep.
like, hey, I'm gonna go over here, try this out. A lot of people are doing it like to compare the NBA G League, like come here to
Yeah.
develop, and then them coming back over here, trying it
Mm-hmm.
out. So
Yep.
I was like, yeah,
Exactly.
it make a lot of sense. So that's why I said I figured it was going to be something like that, to try to, how you said, get yourself developed and to take this chance while it's here, and then if the NFL ever calls you to come back, which I don't see why they wouldn't, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and then if you come back, I definitely understand that. So what
Yep.
team, like if anyway, any team, if they ever called you back from the NFL, you'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna go back there, or would it be like certain teams because they already have their like franchise quarterback, as they say?
Yeah, I'm a realistic person. So like realistically, for one, the main priority, like if any team was to call me, it would have to like for one, there had to be like some type of money in there that like make sure I feel secure. Like I'm not coming over here to mess this money up to chair to I'm coming over here to make a decent amount of money rather than mess the money up I'm making over here. So for one, there's got to be a good amount of contract, a good amount in the contract, and then two, it's got to be somewhere where it's like it fits me. That's my second priority at this point. Like at 26 years old, it's got to be a offense that I go in that like fits my skill set. I don't want to just go somewhere. It's like here, just adjust to this because if you're in a certain system, it's like it don't fit your skill set. It's like you can't get it within the next week or two, then they're just gonna let me go, and then I'm still looking for another job. So I think like the most realistic situation um, in NFL, like with all the offenses and stuff like that, I looked at quarterbacks that play like me. So like the Ravens, Cardinals, Bears, those three teams right now are like perfect for like me. So if they were to call me in and it's like I jump right in their program, their system perfectly, and just I'll be able to thrive because I know what they're trying to do. I understand what they're trying to do. The quarterbacks are similar to me, so it's like you're gonna use this quarterback the way you use me the same way you use your starting quarterback. Like put him on the run, let him run the ball, zone read, let him get the ball out quick, stuff like that. So
Right.
that would be the situation for me.
And Arizona most definitely would need a quarterback to just try to figure out what's going on with Kyler Murray and make sure that injury just doesn't keep
Yeah,
plaguing him over and over, especially with his game and
yeah,
everything like
exactly,
that. So that would definitely be something. Then when he come back, you definitely compete for it.
hundred
I'm
percent,
pretty sure he
exactly.
wouldn't. I'm sure he wouldn't even mind the challenge. Like, hey, let me
Hmm.
see if I can get it back.
Exactly. Yep.
So you said Baltimore, Arizona, and where else?
The Bears, Justin Fields.
Oh
Yep.
man, that watching Justin Fields play, like I was, I remember they said not Josh McDaniels, Mike Nance, the head coach for the Dolphins, like he ended up
Mhm.
coming on the side because he just kept running. He was just like, hey man, stop running so much.
Mhm. I,
Like
li-
you're
I
not
like Justin Fields. I just became a fan of him like recently. I've been watching this year because I didn't really watch him at Ohio State, but like I watched him over the year, like this past year, watching his Bears film, and I just like the way I like the way he plays as far as like the way he runs the ball. He gets the ball out quick. He's a playmaker, and I've been watching, keeping up with like the highlights and stuff of OTAs, and they say he's taking a big jump. So I'm excited to see how he's going to perform this year, and I just hope he has success because it's just giving more and more opportunities for quarterbacks like us. And the style of play that we have is just opening more and more doors for them, like with him, Lamar, Kyler, and all the other quarterbacks, in the future coming. The ones that got drafted this year, Anthony Richardson, um, and all the quarterbacks that got picked up that are like that have the same style of play that we do. It just the more these type of quarterbacks have success, the more and more those doors open up for us.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying about CJ Stroud. That's why I was hoping. Well, going back to Justin Fields, that's one reason why I was kind of excited for him, even though he's in my division. I still want him to lose against us,
Mm-hmm.
So, but I still want him to be successful. But that offensive line, I definitely know that's something they have to address because it's like
Yeah,
there's a difference between running because I see an opening and running for my life because I'm about to get blasted. So I was like,
exactly.
yeah, y'all definitely had to fix that because that was definitely something that can shorten your time in career. Just being in
Mm-hmm.
the NFL because you just keep getting constantly hit. That's why Andrew Luck left because
Yeah,
he
you
just was
got to
getting
protect the
hit.
quarterback. Yep.
Yeah, so if they can get an offensive line, in which they trying to build on it, so that's one thing that I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, good, bro. That's definitely something that can work on. So I understand that. Even going back to it now, like C.J. Stroud going to Houston,
Mm-hmm.
everybody
Yep.
was like, no, they don't see it working. I'm like, I don't see why not. They was like, he's a pocket passer. I said, never in the years that I've ever seen this guy play in Ohio State has he ever been a pocket passer. Like he stays in the pocket when necessary.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But he makes a thing of scrambling, and that's his game.
Yep. We got to make plays when we have to.
So yeah, so that's why I was like, I think the excuse me, I think the pocket passing era, in my personal opinion, is over with.
Oh
Like you
yeah,
don't have
100%.
anybody that like, uh,
Maybe like Mac Jones and like Ryan Tannehill, but like the high percentage of quarterbacks are like, if they're not legit running quarterbacks who can move and make plays, then they're quarterbacks who can at least, they can get the first down and plus a couple more yards. But there's no like statue quarterbacks who just going to sit there, Peyton Manning style, and just take the hits. No, everybody has some type of mobility to them now.
yeah, that's one thing I was saying because even they were like, no, they can end up doing it. I'm like, nah, like the pocket passer era is over with. You
Yeah.
still have a handful, as you said, but even I know he just got to Texas, like Archie Manning talking about he might be that. I'm like, no, he's not. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, just coming from college and I already know that if I know the game is changing, they know it too. So they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna not just leave you in that pocket anymore. You're gonna end up scrambling somehow, making some type of yard. Hell, Brady
Exactly.
even did it before he left. Granted, he was in his 40s when he did it, but he still did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Off defenses are getting too fast. Players are too athletic now and too fast to just sit in the pocket. You got to be able to move now because the guys are just getting faster and faster by the year. Like D Lyman running 4.5s, 4.4s. So it's like, you think you're going to sit in the pocket with that fast edge rusher coming at you like that? Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, that's one thing. So I have a question. This has nothing to do with like other teams. So they say the knock on Bryce Young is his height.
Yeah.
So they say when he stays in the pocket, throws the ball, somebody can just easily like smack the ball and
Mm-hmm.
just end up getting like a thing where he ends up has to go further back or something like that in order to get the
Mm-hmm.
ball up. So you don't have to worry about that. But how would you think if you were in that coaching staff and trying to address it? How would you try to address that?
Um. Well, I think that type of situation is more like that has to do with like your throwing motion. I don't think that have nothing to do with heights because a lot of the quarterbacks get balls batted down the line. It could be short quarterbacks, tall quarterbacks because they have a high release. When you have a high release and that's your only release, it's easy for D linemen to anticipate like when you about to throw and just jump high. Whereas you see quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, and other quarterbacks who barely get the ball batted down and it has nothing to do with their height. It's because they're able to change their arm angle. When you're able to change your arm angle, a lot of D linemen are jumping up like this, and when you're able to throw around the side, it prevents them from batting balls down. So I don't think that has nothing to do with height because um, it's just I think it's all about your throwing motion. If you're going to people who has a higher release naturally, it's just naturally going to be you're going to have more percentage of your passes batted down compared to other quarterbacks who's able to switch their arm angles because like Russell Wilson over his years, he's obviously had balls batted down, but he hasn't had like a high percentage of what you expect it would be because he was like the shortest quarterback for like a good amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think Bryce Young will have a problem with that if he's able to change his arm angle and like play by his strength, which is his height, and like throw through lanes and stuff like that. That whole height thing is just, I think that's just an excuse for people to say, he's not going to have success in the NFL. But it's proven by, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, other short quarterbacks. Bryce Young's proven he's been a winner since high school, Alabama at the highest level of college football. So I don't think he has anything to worry about. I think he's going to have success. He's my favorite quarterback coming out the draft this year. He's very intelligent. And yeah, I think he has a really nice style of play, and I'm excited about watching him too this year.
Yeah, I am too. Because just from being in North Carolina, just And a lot of people initially wanted to walk around, ask people if they're North Carolina Panthers fans,
Mm-hmm.
and just ask them if they ever been to a game. And you'd be surprised, people like they're fans, but they don't just go to the games for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know if it's maybe money or something, but they didn't get into it. They just said they just didn't go. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, with Bryce Young, I feel like everybody just has to look for something,
Yeah.
especially during the draft process. And like they come with something to say, like you can't just say this guy's perfect or this
Yeah.
guy's perfect for us. You have to find something and be like, oh, okay, well, this is the knock on him. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing. That's why I asked you. I was like, no, I figured because he know his height. He's been that height for a long. So he's like, no, I'm comfortable here. I didn't just come to Alabama and then when I hit the field, I gain. I just
Exactly.
like wear a whole bunch of stuff in my shoes, gain a little weight. I mean height, and then throw it. I'm like, no. He already knew like what his thing was, and he made it work
Exactly.
throughout his years. So I'm like, I think it's perfect.
Exactly. I think the reporters and people that always bring up like quarterbacks' height. Those are the ones they're just trying to find like something to like. They're just trying to find a story, something to talk about in your game plan. Like what might prevent you from having success, and like when you like somebody like Bryce Young who's just been, very professional as a person, has a lot of success, through his high school career, college career, got great NIL deals. Like they're just trying to find one thing to knock you. So it's just like we can't find nothing bad on you. Let's just talk about your height. You're short. You think that's going to affect your style? But like, no, you've been having success as a 5'10", 5'9" quarterback, however tall he is, 5'10", 5'9" quarterback at the highest level,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama. So what's going to be different? All the players that played at Alabama, they played in the NFL. So it's going to be basically the same transition. You're playing with the same guys that you play with at the college level, just playing at the pro level now. All it is the same players, same development, same transition. So I think the height has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I figured you would know more going through the pre-draft process yourself. You would know like the ins and outs. Like me, just being somebody that's a fan and just looking on the outside, like watching TV and just watching how all that stuff work. I don't really see all of it. I only see what they only show me like bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one
Exactly.
thing I've been saying for years. Like I just made a video about it. Like I just made a video about it about 2 weeks ago. I was
Mm-hmm.
saying when Jamison Williams as well as Jalen Waddle got drafted, you know, the camera showed them just like walking to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But then people are like, "Oh, he doesn't care. They don't care about the NFL. They don't care about this. They don't care about this opportunity." Until like a week later, they showed it like, oh, how excited they were and everything like that. But they had to go through just criticism just in
Mm-hmm.
these as soon as they got there. I'm just like, man, that doesn't make any sense. Like y'all really were looking for something. And as soon as you found a hint of something, you just went crazy. I'm like, no, like I'm pretty sure that guy had his moment
Mm-hmm.
and just talked about it. And versus everybody just looking for like something to pinpoint and be like, oh, well, this is the knock on him. And I'm like, nah, like just that's something that the camera only showed. But I'm pretty sure if we were behind the scenes, you would see every aspect of it. And that's the one thing that I kind of have an issue with a lot of stuff is because they only show like bits and pieces of stuff versus showing everything.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why you just can't really just go by what you see on the media. It's like the media, they only show the good stuff when you're having success, or they're only gonna show the bad stuff when like everything's falling down. They're not gonna show the good stuff. So whatever's on the media, just let it stay on the media. The internet is like it's a joke. It's like I don't go nothing. I don't base nothing off what's on the internet or what reporters say, because if you weren't physically there to talk to this person or be there when this was in action, then it's like you don't really know the ins and outs. And like I just that's just the way I look at it.
No, I understand because even from the thing with Aaron Rodgers after he left, and they were showing him in OTAs, he was working out,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see on the camera him working out. But then at the bottom, it was like he picks and chooses what days he wants to do something, and
Mm-hmm.
he's having this injury and things like that. I'm like why is that even a thing? Like, is he's out here trying? You see Zach Wilson in the back, so I'm pretty sure he's coaching him up and to be in the position to take over when if Aaron Rodgers decides to stay there and retire. So why is this a thing right now?
Yeah, I think they just do that to like have a story, something to talk about to like attract eyes. Like when you have a headline that says, Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson, blah blah blah, then everybody wants to click on it and be nosy and see what's going on. But I think it's all just like just trying to get attention, trying to get a story. Like all the stuff on the internet, once again, is all just like a joke. Like all the storylines, the media reporter and stuff, because they have a job too. So their job is they got to keep people entertained and stuff. So it's like you got to do what you got to do. So
That clickbait moment, like you just need something, even
exactly.
if it shows somebody just like arguing, and then you
Yep.
tapping in, somebody's like being real, like emotional and compassionate. And it's like, wait a minute, you just use that picture because that's what a lot of people gravitate to. Like, oh, okay, it's argument. Let me see some drama. And then when you see some person
Exactly.
actually trying to be an educator or something like that, people be like, oh, but by then you already clicked on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get that. So one thing that I noticed you do, and it makes a lot of sense. You say you use TikTok and Instagram, like social media, period, as
Yep.
to a way to highlight yourself.
Yep.
But what made you start doing that?
Um, so I started like I had Instagram like in high school and stuff. And like that was like 2015. And I think when I got to from JUCO to Uconn, that's when like I started like people started following me, news outlets started reaching out to me and stuff like that. When I committed to Uconn, um, the old Uconn fan base started following me. And I got a couple of followers, and then once I got to Uconn, we play on ESPN every week. You play in front of like big crowds, Syracuse, South Florida, Houston, all these big schools. Each week you playing, and when you're doing crazy stuff like I was doing, like running, doing all this, you attract a lot of attention from these fans and stuff. And then like I made ESPN top 10 like a couple of times, so you post me on those pages and stuff. A lot of people started knowing me, started following me, stuff like that. And
Mm,
one thing I've been doing for a long time, like even when I was in high school and college, all my workouts when I've been working out, throwing and stuff, I always record. I'll keep my phone. I always keep a phone and I'll record like all my throwing sessions, no matter what it was. But
mm,
I used to record all my throwing sessions, and then as I was like throughout my whole like draft process, um, I think I only had like 30, 40,000 followers at the time, something like that. But throughout that whole process, I started throwing stuff. I just started posting my videos on my story. And I started getting views like 8,000 views, 12,000 views, 20,000 views. People watch that stuff. So I realized, people actually are interested in watching me throw. They like that. So I'm like, let me just keep doing this. So since the whole like draft process, I just started taking it more and more serious. Just kept recording my videos, record everything I do at the field. When I'm working out, throwing the stuff, I record that joint and I started posting it on my story. Then I started posting on my main page, and then people started reaching out to me. Like that's how I met Dez Bryant. I met That's how Quavo reached out to me, stuff like that, and
mm.
a lot of other big names that I've worked out with and met throughout the past like 4 or 5 years. I just started posting that stuff. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, started posting it, and then I think it was last year, what, August, my uncle, he was telling me, he was like, yeah, you got all them followers on Instagram. You need to get them on TikTok to follow you. And because it's a whole nother market there. And,
Mhm.
you're going to blow up, blah, blah, blah. So I ain't paying no mind. I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then one day I was just messing on my phone. I was bored. I just downloaded TikTok and I posted one throwing video. I posted a throwing video. First video, I got like 80,000 views. And then boom, 6,000 people followed me that night. I was like, oh, this is easy. Let me try this again. Post another video. I think got like 400,000 views. I was up to like 20,000 followers. So then after I started doing that, I started posting on my story like, hey, go follow me on TikTok. Trying to get everybody from TikTok, Instagram, just follow me on TikTok, posting videos. So I just kept posting all my throwing videos on TikTok. Before you know it, like 3 videos had like 2 million, couple 100,000, and I just keep posting. And it's just something I've been able to use over the last couple of years. Like social media, it's been a big help to me. It's got me into all these doors. That's how I met Quavo, signed with his team. That's how I got to the CFL. Agent reached out to me because he see my Instagram, and then that's ultimately how I ended up out here in Japan. Like they see my story, they reached out to the guy my teammate that I trained with, trying to get
Mhm.
in touch with me. And it's like social media is like the new way now. It's opened doors for me as far as like getting sponsorships and just getting a lot of opportunities. So it's like something I've been taking advantage of, and then to this day, moving forward on just trying to get more and more, doors open from whatever opportunities that can present itself to me. by just showing what I do as a quarterback throwing and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like that's why I started noticing then, because like I said, I didn't really know anything about Japan stuff until I started like watching your stories and seeing how you were playing. Then after the game, you show like the highlights of your games, and
Yeah.
then show the score afterwards. I was like, man, this guy's like y'all going crazy out there. That's what made me like keep watching. So I was already hooked, just sitting, just watching. It's just like, man, I'm just tapping, just tapping in with the
Appreciate that.
boys. I'm like, yeah, like this is it. Like TikTok, my kids tried to explain it to me and how it go. I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick to Instagram.
Hey, that's how I was, and then I just fooled around with it one day, got it, and then it happened. That first video blew up, and then oh yeah, it can get addicting too, because like once you start posting and keep posting, like it's so quick to just make like 15-second video, post it, get a lot of attraction. So it's like get addicting, but like one thing you gotta do, you just gotta keep posting that stuff, because you never know. Like every other day, it can just hit the little trending page or whatever, and boom, the world can see it.
So consistency is the key.
Yep.
See, and that's what. And anybody paying attention, man, just the younger upcoming athletes is what he's saying. Like consistency is the key. So you might not work today, might not work tomorrow, but it will work. So I just want anybody that's paying attention to that just to hear what he's saying. I'm like, oh no, like that's what he just said. Consistency is the key to a lot of stuff. So just make sure y'all do that and should see everything. That's one thing I've been telling my son, because he likes basketball, but he's more one of them people. He's like, oh, it didn't work today, or he just tries it today and then it didn't really work out. I'm like, what didn't work out? He's like, oh, I was practicing on outside with the friends and they weren't doing how I practice. I'm like, okay, so that means you're done. He was like, just not. I'm like, nah, like you're gonna experience that. You're gonna experience days where things don't really feel like they going well, but that's just one day. Like, don't just stop. Like, you got to keep it going. That's one thing I keep trying to implement in them every time. Like, no, like keep going. You'll make it work.
Yep. 100%.
So last thing for you. So now you got 2 more years in Japan. So how high you guys seeing your ceiling going? 'Cause I know this year you guys did good.
Yeah, I think we should win it all this year. Like I think like finishing off what we did last year, we was one game short before the championship, the Rice Bowl, and the team we lost to last year, that's the first team we played this year, this September. So it's like that'll set the tone. Like if we able to knock them off, and it's like our chances of going to the Rice Bowl and winning it all be very, very high. So it all starts with camp, this summer camp coming up, and just getting better each and every day, and just building onto that chemistry that we had to finish last season, just take it towards this fall season, and just ball each week, just get better over the weeks, day by day, week by week.
Makes sense. I get it, man. I wish the best for you. Like either way, once you win it all and come back with as many trophies and awards as you can. So by the time you need another bag, just carry all your awards, just bring them back over here when you come.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you.
But I appreciate you taking the time and giving me the opportunity to do this interview with you.
Yeah, no problem. Once again, I appreciate you reaching out. Just any questions, concerns you have, or you want to talk football, anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
I appreciate you. All right, y'all. This is another episode of Den in the D. Like and subscribe. Thank God Almighty you like to subscribe. Peace, y'all.